Hi, 4th and 5th graders. It's Allie with the Bookworm, and I'm here to talk to you about some awesome books that we have at your book fair this year. First up is number 6 on The Last Kids on Earth and The Skeleton Road. And if you'll notice, or if you have seen it, it's actually a Netflix series now, which is pretty awesome. In this one, the gang has to finally leave their base and go on an epic road trip. You know what that means. Snacks, movies, kitschy side road attractions, monsters, skeletons everywhere. And what they're doing is they're trying to get to this tower that the evil skeletons are making because they're trying to bring this destroyer of worlds into our dimension. So they have to go on this road trip and take down the tower before that happens. So if you love this series or if you just want to jump head first in, you haven't read it yet, totally pick this one up. It's great because it's Halloween coming up. It's spooky, it's gory, it's funny. It's got a lot of pictures in it if that's your thing, but it's also chapters. So check it out. Totally awesome. Now, if you like the spooky stuff, but you're not so much into the gore and the zombies, check out Embassy of the Dead. This is going to be a really, really cool book, I think, for you. It's a little bit spooky if you like scary things. Basically what happens, Jake gets this package, he opens it without looking, and there ends up being something in it pretty gross. And before he knows it, he has a Grim Reaper on his tail trying to drag him into the eternal void. Yes, that's as deadly as it sounds. But it turns out if he can make it to the Embassy of the Dead and plead his case, then maybe, just maybe, he won't get dragged into the void. And luckily, he meets some ghosts along the way, and he actually has some practice talking to ghosts, so hopefully they'll help him out. You should definitely check this one out, this spooky season. I have a fantasy book for you, so if you guys are fans of magic, Harry Potter, if you liked Elemental's Ice Wolves, this would be a really good choice for you. In this one, there's all these mystical monsters that have been buried for hundreds and thousands of years, and they finally get discovered, and each of them has a magical book with it that'll help whoever reads the book kind of tap into the forces of magic. But it turns out the adults can't read the books. It's only kids. And so the government makes this academy, kind of like the Ulfar Academy in Ice Wolves or Hogwarts in Harry Potter. And it trains the kids to tap into this magic. So if you really like Rick Riordan too, if you like Percy Jackson and magic and adventure, definitely check this one out. It's going to be a big series. Now if you're an animal fan, you should definitely check out Whale of the Wild, and this is a really, really heartfelt book. It has some pictures in it too, if you like pictures, and this is by the same author who wrote A Wolf Called Wander. It's also good if you liked the book Pax, but it's about this whale, Vega, who her and her brother get separated from their parents in their pod, and so it's her job to lead them back to their parents, and they have to fight off hunger and sharks and polluted waters, and you have to read it to find out if they get back and if Vega can become the leader she's destined to be. This is going to be a big one. I think this is a good choice. Now, if you like adventure stories, not super into animals, you really like reading about people more, then you should check out Alone in the Woods. In this one, 2 girls who are ex-best friends get forced onto a family vacation together, and they actually get lost in the Wisconsin wilderness by themselves. And all they have to survive is the stuff in their backpacks. And it's really cool because it's told from both of the girls' perspectives. So if you like those books that alternate perspectives, or you like to know every story from every side, definitely check this one out. Will they survive? Will they be able to fix their friendship? You're going to have to read to find out. Another survival story written by one of my favorite middle grade authors, and I think you guys too, because I'm pretty sure she's been to a lot of your schools, is The Canyon's Edge by Dusty Bowling. Yes, insignificant events in the life of a cactus in 24 hours in nowhere, Dusty Bowling. This is her newest book. I read it in a day. I totally devoured it. I loved it. And what's really cool is it's a totally new format that she hasn't done before. And this is called writing in verse. And what's really cool about it is it changes the way that the words feel with each other. It changes the way you read it. It changes how fast you can read it. That's how I read it in a day. But it basically is about this girl, Nora, whose mom died a year previous to the start of this book. And on the anniversary, which also happens to be her birthday. Her and her dad go into a slot canyon deep in the desert, and they get separated by a flash flood. So she has to survive scorpions and extreme thirst and hunger, and she also has to outrun the beast that's been haunting her dreams. So this is just, in true Dusty Bowling way, a great, gripping read with a heartfelt, super strong character at the center. Definitely check out The Canyon's Edge. Now, if you like a little bit of mystery, you should definitely check out Melissa Savage's Nessie Quest. Now, she wrote Lemons, which is about Bigfoot, Truth About Martians, which is about animals, and now this one, Nessie Quest, which is about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, each of these animals is called a cryptid, and it's a super cool section of studying animals called cryptozoology, and there's these people that actually study these crazy cool animals. So in this one, this girl gets forced onto a month-long vacation during the summer with her family to Scotland, but while she's there, she finds this kid who's running a Nessie Quest search group, and the two of them become unlikely friends and see if they can hunt down the Loch Ness Monster. There's also a ton of super funny jokes in here. So if you like quirky characters, cryptids, or just kind of like dinosaurs, dragons, the Loch Ness Monster, Yetis, those kinds of things, definitely check this one out. Next we have Front Desk. Now this is a realistic fiction, so we're kind of back in the real world here. And it is about Mia, whose family are recent immigrants from China, and they're pretty desperate for money and a job, so they take a job running this motel. It turns out the motel owner's a little bit grumpy, and what's really cool is that her parents fight to hide immigrants from him, and so Mia's in charge of running the front desk, but she's also only in 5th grade. So not only does she have to deal with being like one of the 2 Chinese people in her class, but she also has to deal with running the front desk, dealing with customers, and trying to hide these immigrants from the grumpy owner. Now this is a really, really awesome book. It's won an award, which is a big deal. And we also have the second one in store. So if you think this sounds awesome, you can't even get enough of this story, you can even check out 3 Keys, which is book number 2. Next, we have Becoming Muhammad Ali by James Patterson and Kwame Alexander. Both of these authors are pretty famous. Kwame Alexander did The Crossover, which is a really cool book about basketball. But in this one, it's a reimagination of Muhammad Ali's upbringing. So before he was Muhammad Ali, he was actually Cassius Clay, which you can see on his shirt here. And he had the same issues as every other kid. And if you pick up this book, you'll learn about, the issues he faced with racism, the issues he faced in school, and you'll also learn that he became an amateur boxer at age 12. That's crazy. And what's cool is that it's a mix of verse, kind of like the Dusty Bowling one that I showed you, and regular writing as well. So pick this one up if you want to learn about one of the greatest sports heroes of all time. I have next, Like the Willow Tree, and this is for all of my historical fiction and fans who also liked Resistance by Jennifer Nielsen. If you like any other Jennifer Nielsen books, this could be a really good pick from you. In this one, it's set in 1918 during the Great War, or World War I. However, it's when the Spanish flu is hitting the United States, and the 2 main characters get orphaned by the flu, actually. And they have to go live with their uncle on this farm. And the little brother of the main character actually runs away. So the whole time she's worried about this flu, and she's worried about hopefully her brother will come back. If you want to kind of read about something that's very similar that's happening right now, but happened almost more than 100 years ago, check out Like the Willow Tree. And what's really cool, I forgot to say, is that this is actually a reissue of the original one, and it has a special new introduction from the author. So it's a really cool special edition of the book. Next, and I know you guys are super excited about this because I was, is the newest Spy School book, Spy School Revolution by Stuart Gibbs. In this one, Ben's ready to kick back and relax. He's finally done what he's supposed to do, but when he's, kind of getting orientation, he hears a bomb go off in the conference room next door, and everyone suspects his friend Erica, but he knows that she's not a double agent. So he has to prove that she's not a double agent. He has to find this group that's apparently blackmailing her, figure out what their plan is, and stop it. So if you love the Spy School series, or if you love, spy movies, clues, adventure, crazy, daring escapades, check out Spy School Revolution. And then lastly, if you want to jump in, you've read the Spy School, but you think you might want to be a spy, or you're interested in spy stuff, check out Create Your Own Secret Language. Now, the cool thing about this is the author is actually one of the people that helps create the special languages for movies and TV shows like Game of Thrones and the Marvel movies. How cool is that? So he's definitely an expert. And so you can, create a secret language that only you and your best friend know. You can guard your diary and write it in a different language so your little brother or sister can't read it. And what's cool is that it has a whole entire guide and activities so that you can create your own secret language. And we even have these cool invisible pens, writing pens at the store that you can come get when you come get this book. So not only is it in a different language, but it's in invisible ink. So come and check it out. I'm so excited to see you guys in the store. Have a good day.